and I am here as sales manager for Chantecaille here in San Francisco. And I would really love for this to be as interactive as possible. So if you wouldn't mind, please feel free to share your screen. It's going to help it to feel a little bit more like we're all joining each other for an in-person masterclass. And please do remain on mute. And we'll be using that chat bubble that I mentioned earlier. I'll be answering any questions that you may have as we go. And also all of the products that our hosts will be speaking to will be linked in the chat bubble as well. And then we will also really be focusing today on our Under the Mask Masterclass on how to care for your skin in this new normal of wearing a protective face covering whenever we're outside. You know, whether it's maskne breakouts, which I know I personally experience, or any redness or irritation, our hosts are going to be sharing their favorite products to address those concerns. And we'll also be doing a deep dive into foundation techniques, discussing undertones, and why it's important to know yours. So again, thank you so much for sharing your screen if you are. Thank you for going ahead and typing in any chat buttons. Any questions in the chat, fabulous. And one more thing, please be sure to stay tuned through the duration of the session, as we will have an extra special thank you at the end of the session. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and let in our hosts, Janelle, Olympia, and Angela. Hi guys, welcome.
Hi.
Hey
Everyone.
Hey everybody.
What's everyone doing?
My name is Janelle, and I started with Chantecaille as a makeup artist about 6 years ago. And today I manage the Pacific Northwest. But I'm super excited to be here with all of you, and I hope you guys learn something new and are able to take something into your routine. So I'll then pass it on to my lovely co-host, Olympia.
Hi, everyone. I'm Olympia. I have been with Chantecaille now for 2.5 years. I started out as an artist, and now I am the sales manager of the Northeast. So I am in Connecticut and currently in New York right now. So I'm happy to be here and share some tips and tricks with you guys on our foundation journey. And I'll pass it to you, Angela.
Hi, everybody. I'm Angela. I started working with Chantecaille a little over 8 years ago as an artist, and now I manage the Central South. And I'm based out of Houston, so all my Texas people, hello. We're going to start off today by talking about some of our skincare must-haves underneath the mask to combat all the maskne that's happening now. So I'll let Janelle start off with her skincare.
Hi guys. Yeah, so now with this new normal that we're living in, we all have to wear these protective masks when we're running our errands or just out and about. And it tends to give our skin some irritation. So I'm gonna actually put my mask on so that you guys are able to see exactly where, for me, it is actually irritating on my skin, or I'm getting some irritations from the mask. So I tend to get my irritations right in this general area here where the ear loops are. And then sometimes around the nose area, as it can cause some friction there, here. And then also along the jawline, I can get some irritations here. So one of the products that has been really useful and helpful for me is our CBD 300 face and body cream. So what I like to do is prep my skin with a little bit of this. It definitely helps to calm and soothe those areas. So I've been really loving to prep my skin before I put on my mask and go out and just do my errands. There's a couple of key ingredients here. There is a chamoya extract and an eggplant stem cell extract, which really help to kind of reduce any redness in my skin. The smell of this is also really nice. It has a really light, refreshing smell. So It's one of my favorite parts of prepping also, because I can also breathe this in while I have my protective mask on, and it just kind of de-stresses me. So I've been loving that. So that's one of the ways that I've been using the CBD 300 cream, but it can also be used in so many different ways. It's great for sore muscles. So if you're a runner, you can actually put this on your knees or on your feet. I get a lot of discomfort here in my shoulder area, so I definitely like to apply it here throughout the day or as needed. And then I know someone else who loves to use it in this area because they have TMJ. So there's so many different ways in which you can use this cream, and it's really been a lifesaver for me recently. And yeah, so would highly recommend you guys to try it, as it's been so helpful for me. So what do you like to use? Oh, sorry.
Pardon my interruption. No, to interject, just like Janelle was saying, I tend to get really, really bad tech neck. I even grind my teeth sometimes when I sleep, and I'll take just a teensy bit and just press it into those areas. And truly, it's the only thing that really helps to calm and soothe and relax me. Just my 2 cents. It's one of my favorite products. Thank you.
No, I love it. It's also good, I forgot to mention, since we've been washing our hands so often, it's really great to kind of rub into, I take the remainder of whatever I put on my face and then kind of just rub it through my hands, and it really helps with any dry patches. So I'll pass it over to Olympia now, who will share with us her tips.
I use CBD every day too. I think it's such a great product, but every day, I would say every night, I actually sleep in this jasmine and lily healing mask. So it has vitamin B5 in it, so it's super hydrating, but I tend to break out a little bit more. So I feel like that's why I use it every single day. And especially with the mask, it's preventing my skin from breathing a little bit more than usual. So what I'll do is I'll throw the mask on my face, and then I'll actually put the mask on top, and I'll just run errands. I'll run to the store. So my skin is nice and treated while I'm running errands. But the best part about this is that if you break out, or if you're super dry, if you're prone to redness, it's good for every skin tone. I like to save my product as much as possible. So I'll use the foundation and mask brush, and I'll do a very, very thin layer. And you can leave it on for 10 minutes, or you could do what I do. And I like to sleep in it. And I know, Angela, you like to sleep in yours too, right? Yeah. So I'll pass it to you, Angela, so you could tell us about your faves.
Okay. Yeah, I personally like to sleep in the jasmine and lily healing mask when I'm in between makeup looks, or if I've scrubbed my face a lot and my skin gets irritated. Jasmine and lily healing mask is a savior for that. But my product would be the detox clay mask. The reason why I like the detox clay mask is, for one, it's great on anyone's skin type because the clay never dries down. So as you can see with my mask, this is my fine little tie-dye mask, right? It covers pretty much half of my face. So when I put this on, in the Houston heat, it's like the heat index was 111 the other day. And if you're in and out putting the mask on, you can even see I have an irritation right here from wearing the mask and it just being really hot. And then if I have any makeup on underneath it, it just makes it not fun. So what I do is I literally take the clay detox mask and I put it on this part of my face every time that I'm wearing this. I'm gonna put a little on just so you can see it. And I literally come in after being out all day. I'm gonna do one side because I'm not trying to be real messy in here. I will leave it on as I'm like making dinner or just kind of doing what I have to do when I first walk in the door. I make sure to get my chin because my chin always has all these irritation marks. So I take this on my face and I leave it on. It doesn't ever dry down. It has rosemary in it, which is purifying. But I also like using this just in general in the summer months, all over my face, about 2 to 3 times a week, just depending on how often I'm wearing makeup, how often I'm in the sun, I'm sweating, etc., etc. This helps. It keeps my pores really nice and clean and purified. And then also the days that I'm wearing my mask a little more often than none, I make sure I do the bottom half of my face. So great product for multitude of different reasons, on top of the fact that it doesn't dry down, so you don't have to worry about that irritation if you're more sensitive or you're a bit more dry. So with that being said, we're going to go into what we do for our makeup underneath all the mask. And now that we've combated all the irritation that we've gotten from our maskne and our mask, we'll talk about the makeup. And Janelle's going to take over and talk about her little look and how she achieves it. Janelle?
Thanks, Angela. So yeah, one of my favorite foundations that I've been wearing for years is our Future Skin foundation. And what I really love about this product is it's ultra lightweight and it doesn't feel like you have makeup on. It does provide a sheer to medium coverage, but it is buildable as well. So if you needed to like cover any certain areas, you can definitely add a second layer on. And it'll never look cakey or look cakey. It feels still super lightweight and wears comfortably throughout the day. So yeah, this is one of my favorites and I highly recommend this product as well. There's a couple products that I do like to cocktail into my foundation. My skin tends to be on the drier side, so I really love to add a couple drops of our Rose de May face oil. This oil's such a beautiful texture as well. It's super lightweight and it sinks into the skin immediately. I'm gonna try to show you guys. But what I love about it is it boosts the hydration in my skin. So I love to add a couple of drops of this into my foundation routine, and it just kind of gives me that beautiful, healthy looking glow. But you can see it doesn't leave any sticky residue on my skin. And then the second product that I like to use is our Liquid Lumiere, and this is our liquid highlighter. This also comes in 3 different shades, but the color that I'm going to use and show you today is Sheen. So I do like to add a pea size of this into my little beauty cocktail here, but I'm going to kind of show you the pearl in here because it's a super wearable highlighter. It's very natural, very subtle. You can see the pearl in here is micronized. It's not chunky glitter at all. It just gives off this beautiful gleam to the skin. And so I'll show you exactly how much I kind of mix of each product. So, the color that I'm using in my foundation is Shea. And this color is more balanced. So it's neither cool nor warm. It's kind of about an even amount of both and right in the center and more neutral. So I like to take about that amount of foundation, and then depending on how dry my skin feels that day, I'll add 2 to 3 drops. But again, you can tailor this to however your skin is feeling that day. So I'll add 2 since my skin feels somewhat dry, but not too dry. And then I'll add a pea size of the Liquid Lumiere in Sheen. So at this point, you can just go ahead and mix this, and if you don't have a foundation brush, you can definitely use your fingertips to apply this. But I'm going to show you guys my favorite tool to use, and it's our sculpt brush. You can see it's pretty large, but I like the weight of this brush because I feel like I have more control when applying my foundation. So I'm going to go ahead and mix that little cocktail that I have on the back of my hand. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply this to my face. I don't know if you guys can see.
So pretty. I love that glow that you get.
Thanks, Ange. So yeah, you can see I get to cover a lot of surface area quickly with this brush, and it definitely cuts down on your foundation application time. I don't like to spend too much time applying my foundation, and it makes it or allows me to blend my product fairly easily. So.
Janelle, your skin looks so stunning. And we have a couple of really great questions in the chat that I'd love to address.
Oh, yeah.
So we have Brittany asking, does the foundation feel heavy?
That's a really great question. So
Right?
Not at all. It actually has a really unique formula. It is a gel formula. So you can add, 2 layers onto your skin or add it in like certain areas, and it will never feel like you've got a thick, heavy coat of foundation on. It feels very comfortable and wearable throughout the day. So yeah,
I love that you're using the sculpting brush. It looks so beautiful when you kind of apply it a little bit fuller like that. Gorgeous. And then we have one more question from Evelyn as well. She says that she's using the Just Skin formula in vanilla. Can she also mix the highlighter in Sheen with that as well? Or does it work best with the Future Skin foundation?
Absolutely. No, yeah, you can definitely add Sheen to any foundation that you're wearing. You can even wear this alone. Sometimes I'll do that just over my moisturizer if I want just a quick little something so that I look awake and my skin looks healthy. Yeah, this is a really great product for that.
Beautiful. I also wear it just like on the high points of my cheekbones. If I just want to do concealer or mascara, I'll pop that right here for a little bit of that added glow. So yeah, beautiful.
No, great.
Great questions, guys. Thank you for answering, Janelle.
Yeah, good questions. Okay, so from this point, I want to definitely brighten under my eyes. I do have a slight darkness under here. And so I'm going to take our Le Camouflage Stilo, and the color that I like to use, or my shade, is 4C. And this is definitely on the cooler tone. It has a more cooler undertone, which means it has a tiny bit more pink in it. And what I like about that is it kind of corrects the darkness that I have under my eyes. And so you just want to click a little bit of product under here, and it's great because it has a little brush. So it makes it really easy to kind of throw in your purse. And if you want to reapply throughout the day, you can definitely do so. So you can use the brush to kind of blend this out, but I like to go in with my ring finger and then just kind of tap it in. So if you tap the product in, you'll get a little bit more coverage to this versus doing like a sweeping motion. More of this kind of sweeping motion is going to shear the product out. But I like a little bit more coverage under my eyes. And then what's also great is that it has some added skincare benefits in here to help depuff and also brighten under the eyes. So that's where I like to do that. And then another tip that I like to use this product is down the bridge of my nose, just to kind of highlight here. And then in between my eyebrows, and then at the Cupid's bow. And the texture of this, you guys, is really creamy, but still lightweight. And it does wear all day and is crease proof. So you can see it's still really natural looking, just kind of evened out any discoloration that I had. But then at this point, you can actually set with powder if you want. If you like a more matted look to your skin, then definitely set with the powder. For me, again, I'm on the drier side. So I want to keep the dewiness look to my skin. So I'm going to go ahead and set with our Pure Rose Water, which is a really refreshing, hydrating mist. It's really great to reset your skin and also is loaded with vitamin C. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this in a zigzag formation just so I can get an even distribution on my face. Feels so good. And while you're doing it, you can also take a nice deep breath. The aromatherapy in that product really helps to uplift and also gives you the feeling of being loved. So yeah, that is my foundation routine. I'm going to pass it over and you can share what you like to use, Olympia.
Sorry, one more great question, guys, before we end on the rose water. Sweet Shay is wondering, can that be used as a toner also, the rose water?
Absolutely, yes. So you can actually use this as a toner in your skincare routine. You can use it as a makeup setter like I did. You can use it to even kind of tame down any flyaways. So there's so many different uses. Also, if you work in front of a computer screen, it's really great to just kind of spritz this on and kind of refresh your skin. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Such great questions. I appreciate it. Okay, so Olympia, let's go ahead and move on to your foundation technique tips.
Okay, so typically I love that you, Janelle, I love that you set your makeup with the rose water. Usually I'll do it before my makeup because I'm a little bit more combination, so it's depending on if I'm dry or not. But I use Just Skin actually. So this is a little fun fact. Yesterday when I was with Sylvie Chantecaille, I had asked her, and I was doing her makeup, and I asked her, would you rather me use Future Skin or Just Skin? And she's asked me, she was like, well, what do you think? And she's like, do you think I need a lot of coverage? Because if that's the case, then you should use Just Skin, it's interesting because people think that Future Skin has more coverage, but it's actually Just Skin that does. So I have some
Uh-oh, guys, it looks like we're having a little bit of technical issues. That does happen sometimes in our new normal. But during this time, while we're waiting for Olympia to join us again, we had another great question from Evelyn. She has combination skin, but can we still use the Rose de May oil for that skin type? Janelle, would you like to answer that?
Yes. So yeah, absolutely. This is great for all skin types. And again, it can be layered into your moisturizer if you wanted to, or into your serums. If you tend to be on the oilier side, I would just use a little less. Maybe 1 to 2 drops is going to work for your skin rather than 2 to 3. But yeah, it'll give you that beautiful glow. And again, it is a lightweight oil, so it does sink and it doesn't stay on the surface or doesn't feel heavy at all. And it also helps to firm and brighten your skin as well.
Awesome. I know I'm actually more on the oily side, and I live in San Francisco, which is a little bit more humid since we're by the water. And I use 2 drops of that at night with my moisturizer, and I love it. It never makes me feel greasy or heavy at all. It looks like Olympia's back on with us too, so we'll go ahead and pass her back.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
Everyone working from home, the Wi-Fi gets a little, wonky. But so I was just explaining Just Skin and how I apply it. I always use it with the Buff and Blur brush. So this one here it's very compact and the bristles are very, it's a little bit shorter. So I feel like you get a better coverage with this. So what I'll do, and I came on here with no makeup, and I never do that, but I really wanted you guys to see what it does to my skin. It evens out and it gives it that full coverage without looking like I'm wearing a heavy foundation, which I feel like is really hard to find nowadays, because typically when you're looking for a full coverage, it dries pretty matte and dries your skin out. But this one is perfect. It gives me that hydration, but also that coverage. And you could see too, it gives you that really beautiful glow. And I'm only going to do half my face so that you can see what it does for my skin.
That looks so good, Olympia.
Thank you. This Buff and Blur brush was actually, it's one of our newer brushes. And I feel that it's very important to use a brush with your foundation. You can use your fingers with Just Skin, but if you're looking for the full coverage, I would definitely go for the Buff and Blur brush. Next, I'm gonna go in with the same concealer that Janelle uses. It's the Camouflage Stilo, and this is in the color, in the shade, number 5. I applied a little bit differently. I'll focus in here where I'm super dark and over here because I want that lift. And I'll let it sit for about 5 to 10 seconds just so it gets tacky and it becomes fuller coverage. Because as you can see, I have those hereditary dark circles and also from the lack of sleep. But I will blend it up and outward. So I'm going to also put it on my lid as well, because you could see that I'm dark here. And when I kind of bring my face back, you can see, and as you can see, a little bit goes a very, very long way. So I'll kind of like hit maybe around my nose.
Looks so good.
I mean, that's a facelift. That's
Wow.
how my face is lifted. You can tell immediately and the best part about this concealer too is that it dries down, but it doesn't get creasy and cakey. it still stays really dewy, and you can see it leaves that highlighted look without having to apply a highlighter. And if you're like me, it's 10 minutes is too long for makeup application. I like to do it quick, done, and easy, and leave the house. So after that, I like to set my makeup, which I never did before, but since the lockdown and quarantine and everything, you have to wear these masks. I notice when I don't set my makeup, the makeup transfers onto the mask. Or not our makeup, just any makeup in general, just because it's summertime and we're sweating. So I'll use the Candlelight powder. It's amazing because it comes with the brush. You just give it a little shake. It does have, you can't see here, but it does have a little bit of iridescence to it. So it'll set your face and your makeup, but it'll also keep that shine. So you can even see here that glow still comes through even after setting with a powder. And I'll put it all over. And there you go. You have your full coverage without looking like full coverage, and you're set and ready to go for the day.
That looks so good.
Thank you. Thank you. What do you do, Angela? I'd love to hear.
Well, I am unlike the other two girls. I have to set my makeup because I'm oily and I live in Houston where the humidity is real high. So if I don't set my makeup will be in my décolleté by noon. But I do want to mention one thing. Someone asked, they lived in Northern California and they wanted to be foundation matched. I know we're not in stores, even though Janelle and Stasia both live in Northern California. There's this great tool that we have online that makes everything easy if you're trying to match yourself virtually, which is called Foundation Finder. So just go to chantecaille.com, look on the left-hand side, you'll see a foundation finder, and you'll be able to kind of narrow down what shades you might be. And if you're in between two shades and you're not really sure, be sure and either email one of us or go on to the live chat, which there's usually someone there all the time, and they will send you samples of both shades so that you can pick which one, before you have to purchase it. So I suggest that you do that. If you don't know what color, if you haven't worn any of our foundations, or if you want to switch from Future Skin to Just Skin. But today I'm going to talk to you about how I prep my skin. I prep my skin while everyone else was doing their thing. But I also like to use this right here, my foundation primer, which is upside down. We call it I was going to call it UPS, USP, not UPS, but it's USP. It's an SPF 45. It's oil free, and the great thing, you got to shake it when you get it. Is that normally I can't find an SPF over 30 that doesn't have me looking what I like to call casket ready, but doesn't leave a white cast on my skin. Look at how translucent that is even on my skin. I love this product because it's oil free, it's the SPF 45, and it's also a foundation primer. And I'm a runner and I sweat and SPF gets in my eyes and burns. This one does not. So I like to start off with pressing this into my skin first. Try not to get too close to your eyes. And then I'm gonna move on from here to our real skin. These are my lifesavers. So this is it's a concealer foundation. I don't typically like to do a whole face on a day-to-day basis. I like to perfect and create an illusion. So I start in the middle and work my way out. I use two colors, 8 and 9, because I want brightness. I do 8. 9 is more like my skin tone. So I'm gonna start off with the 9 so you can kind of see it. I like to go right under my eyes, not too close, but I don't want it to crease, but you see how it just kind of blends into my skin. And then I also will use this for any blemish marks that I have on my face, which I have a couple there from maskne and picking at my face because I'm not so good at not doing that. Oh, and then I want to take 8, and where I want brightness is that inner corner. So I'm gonna take it right in here and kind of layer it. That adds that brightness and dimension that I like. What I like to use to blend all this out, you can use the mask and foundation brush, which is a slightly flatter brush. I like the sculpt brush because it's dense but fluffy. And then I'm able to kind of blend out any edges so it blends all really well and you don't see where I stopped and started with the concealer. When the inner part of my eye, I want the pigment to stay. So instead of brushing it in, I press it. So pressing it in so I can keep that pigment and it can give me the coverage that I want underneath my eyes because I need it. So if you can see, right, if I pull back, you can see how nice and covered that looks and then how I'm still really dark underneath here. So I'm going to just kind of blend it out, make sure I don't have any seams on where I have it, but you can kind of see where I have it and where I don't, and I didn't put a full coat on, right? And then I go to setting. So I use the Perfect Blur.
Angela, before you move on, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but we did have a question regarding the texture of the Real Skin Plus.
Okay.
Have you ever found it to be a little bit on the dry side? If so, is there any tips or tricks for you to share with us as far as combating that?
Sure. So what I prefer, like for me, I'm oily and I like to put it on right after I put my skincare on. You want your skin to have a little bit of slick to it, right? So either you're just now putting your skincare on, or if you're using it as a touch-up stick, as I do often, there's a little mini rose water that I have. I actually have it right here. There's a mini that you can carry with you, which I do, or you can just mist your face with a little bit of rose water just to give it a little bit of slip.
Yes.
And a third thing that you can do to make it kind of not so dry, you can warm it up on your hand a little bit to
That's
get it.
That's what I do.
And use the brush, which I can do right here, to apply it so you get more of a slip action. And you can put it in with any other products that Janelle was talking about, like a little bit of like the liquid Lumiere or anything like that.
I'm gonna try that.
I do that exactly.
Notice how quickly it blended in for you. I'm gonna try that because
that way you don't have to stipple and work with it.
Yeah.
But an oilier skin or a person that likes a little bit more coverage, a little eye cream, and it's good.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's a great answer and a great question.
No problem. Okay, so now we're going on to setting powders, right? So you have two tools to help you set your makeup. So my two favorite tools is the face brush or the sculpt brush. I like the sculpt brush because I like to kind of pack it on a little bit because I know that I'm oily and I need a little bit more powder. If you want something that gives you kind of a light application of powder because you're just trying to set, like Olympia said, she doesn't normally like to set her makeup, but maybe she wants to do something really quick, you could do the face brush. And I'm using the Perfect Blur, which is this beautiful little powder with the hummingbird on it. I love it because it's translucent, but I don't know if you can see it. It's got a little bit of a peachy undertone, right? So I wiped off any extra moisture that I had on my brush, and I'm going back in with the sculpt brush, and I'm gonna set my concealer. As you saw how shiny that was before I put powder on. And this allows me, I like it because it almost comes to a little angle. And this allows me to get right in the middle, right where I need everything set, and then go in between my brows. And then I can just brush it on how I need it, where I need it to kind of buff down the powder. So if you see, I have a kind of a matte face, but I'm not too matte, which is great. And that is how I set my makeup. And I think we're gonna move on to, Stassi, did you have another question?
You know, that's one of my favorite products, so I have to mention the Perfect Blur powder, you guys. I literally keep it by me all day long because these Zoom calls, you know, I do get a little bit shiny. But one way that I use it every single day, I use a lot of the Le Camouflage Stilo under my eyes because I have hereditary darkness. Guys, this powder is so lightweight. It's the only one that I can use to actually set underneath my eyes without it creasing. And I even put a little bit on top of my lid as well, and it holds my shadow in place all day. I literally cannot sing the praises of this powder more. So that's my 2 cents. And
there you go. There's your 2 cents. And then I just saw really quickly where Jennifer asked if it gives too much shimmer. There's no shimmer. It's like a HD powder that's matte, but it's not too matte to where you look powdery. So there's no shimmer, shine, or anything in it. The one that Olympia has a little bit of shimmer, but it's not too much. So if you're looking for an HD powder that gives you a little glow, the HD in Candlelight is great. The HD in the Perfect Blur has none of that. But before I forget, let's talk
Yes.
about our wonderful gift. Okay, so there's 2 portions to our gift. There's tiers. So for those of you guys that, well, yes, this is the right brush. You get a full-size foundation and mask brush, just if you spend $125. And if you have more products that you'd like, you get this wonderful little pouch we have here. And in the pouch, you have a Magnolia, Jasmine, and Healing, sorry guys, Magnolia, Jasmine, and Lily Healing Emulsion. You have a hibiscus smoothing mask, and then you also, these are all deluxe sizes, by the way. And then you have a bamboo and hibiscus exfoliating cream, which is a manual exfoliator, which I also really, truly enjoy. This is with a $350. So with $350, you get all this plus this. So stick till the end and we'll tell you a little bit more goodies that we have for you guys. But before we leave, let's talk about bronzers, and I'm gonna turn it over to Janelle. She's gonna talk a little bit about these wonderful bronzers that we have.
Thanks, Angela. So yeah, one of my favorite bronzers is our Real Bronze. Now that I've done my complexion, I kind of want to put a little bit of warmth back into my face and also give my cheekbones a little bit more definition. So today I'm going to use our cheek brush, which is a brush that I like to use with this bronzer because it gives me a little bit more of a precise application with this bronzer, and I like to apply it right along my cheekbone as my first application because it's going to be the most concentrated and the most saturated, and I love to just pop my cheekbones out a little bit more. I feel like it slims down my face. And then whatever you have left, I kind of blend it out into the temples and then also into my jawline here. And then you can bring it down to the neck. What's also really great about this formula is it's buildable. So you can keep on building and it's not gonna look streaky or muddy on you, which sometimes some bronzers can tend to look. This one just blends effortlessly and looks super natural. You can kind of see it's super subtle, but gives me some warmth back into my skin. Then another little trick that I like to use, because I like to get the most uses out of my products, is I'll take our eye definer brush, and then for a little quick eyeshadow, I'll just pop some of the bronzer right into my crease, just to add some warmth here. So you can see the difference between both eyes. It's good to go, and I did that with just one product. So now I'm gonna hand it over to Olympia.
So I use the same bronzer, but just in a different shade. This one is Serena, and I like that you, Janelle, how you sculpt your face. I'm just a little bit more, I was saying before that this is a gel bronzer, and just the texture is so different than any other bronzer. It kind of melts into your skin and melts with your foundation, and it just looks so beautiful, and it's very forgiving. So if you are not makeup savvy and you are not into your contouring stage yet, you could do what I do, which is I take a little, flick it off, and then I kind of just apply it where the sun hits me. And when I go to the beach and it looks like I just went on vacation, I'll put a little on my nose and all over. And because it's a gel, the way that it goes on, you could still see that really luminous finish. And I'll kind of hit under my jaw, on my neck, so I match. And yeah, I'm good to go. And now I'm gonna put this, not right this second, but I will start putting it in my crease because it looks so beautiful on you, Janelle. And I think that either color looks good on anybody. And I think that, Angela, you use the same bronzer, but just for a different reason, right?
Yeah, so I use the Serena, and what I'm gonna do with the Serena on this side. So I have the Perfect Blur on this side. I use it as a setting powder. On a deeper, darker, richer skin tone, the Serena also works as a great setting powder without, it gives you a little bit of a glow, but not too much. The Serena, as you see here, there's a little bit of shimmer, but it's not too much and it's not overwhelming. So you're not gonna look like you're glowing if you put this everywhere. I like to do it with a little bit of the powder brush. And as you see, as I'm putting it on, it sets. but it doesn't give you too much shimmer, because as I stated, I like using this like if I've been in the sun too much and my skin looks a little dehydrated, or in the winter months where I need a little bit of glow and I'm looking a little dull or blah, I use this. And there's a slight bit of shimmer versus being a little bit more matte on this side, but gives you a touch of color if you're darker, so it fits a wider range, but anyone can wear it, and it's beautiful if you're a darker skin tone for a little bit of a powder set. So there we have it. I'm gonna let it go back to Stasia, who's gonna wrap us up.
Ladies, thank you so much for sharing all of those amazing tips. You all are positively glowing, and I know that I'm gonna use all those tips for my makeup tomorrow. So we wanted to say a big thank you to everyone for staying with us through this whole session. Just like Angela referenced earlier, we do have a few gifts with purchase that we're offering. That full-size foundation and mask brush with any purchase of $125 or more. And then with a purchase of $350 or more, you'll receive both the foundation mask brush and that amazing gift with purchase with all of those deluxe size goodies. And then the final special treat that we wanted to extend to everyone who participated today is actually a 20% off discount. So with the foundation, or excuse me, with the discount code foundation20, you will receive 20% off of your purchase. And this is valid through tomorrow evening at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you have any questions about any further products or just kind of want to touch base, please feel free to unmute yourselves and join in the conversation, or type in any more questions in the chat box. We really made use of that today. I think we had some awesome questions for these girls. And we really do appreciate everyone joining us today. We'll also be linking all of our beautiful hosts' information in the, oh, this is a great question. Okay, so we have a question about Radiance Elixir that just popped up. Can we speak a little bit to this? I know this is one of our newest skincare launches in addition to that CBD 300 cream. I use it every day. I'm obsessed with it. Personally, I do 2 drops, mix it in after my serum step before my moisturizer. Guys, do you have any favorite ways to use it? Angela?
I use it. Sorry, I just wanted to dive right in.
Please jump in.
This is one of my favorite things that Chantecaille has ever come out with. I think it's genius. I love the finish of it. I think it works for every skin type. Especially for me, you would think something that's so iridescent would bring out texture or cause any kind of, you know, just bring anything out, but it just looks so good with foundation. And if you know anyone who's pregnant or is going through any kind of hormonal changes, it's the one thing that I've given to my sister that says that nothing works for her except for the Radiance Elixir. She feels dull in the morning and tired, and she feels like her skin's not pretty, and she pops on the Radiance Elixir and she thinks that it's like God's gift to earth because of how her skin just transforms in one swipe. So yeah, there you got it, Angela. She's on it. She's got it.
She was ready. She was so
I was ready for you guys.
I love it.
Actually, the Radiance Elixir is what I was using to prep my skin after I took the clay detox mask off. What I enjoy about this too is it's got a skin awakening peptide. I suffer from allergies, so I always look like I got beat up by Mike Tyson when I wake up in the morning. So
I doubt that.
No, I'm real puffy, and I don't drink enough water, so that too. So what it does is you know how when you wake up in the morning you look like you just woke up. What it does, it helps kind of take that deep puffness and that I just woke up look away. And that's what I enjoy about it. It takes normally that takes about an hour for a person's face to not look like they just woke up. And this does it for you immediately. And it has a little bit of a natural glow to it. And I like it because it's super, super lightweight. So for whoever was asking about what that product was, it's the Radiance Elixir. It comes in a little drop bottle. 2 drops is all you need. It works really well.
Another great question, follow-up question from Sweet Shay. Where would this fall in order of skincare layering?
Oh, girl, you could do this. You could do anything with this.
So
there's no wrong with selling. So I like it underneath everything. Some people like
Mhm.
mixing it with their foundation. Like I know the drier skin types like Janelle likes to mix it and cocktail it with things. Some people want to like shear it out. Like it's a great thing to shear out the real skin. Sometimes that's too much for people. I like the coverage of real skin, so I want it full coverage. But I mean, there's so many ways you can do it and mix it. You can mix it into your skincare, but is there any way that you guys like to use it, Janelle?
Yeah, no, I kind of definitely use it in my morning and my nighttime skincare routine. But I use it in so many different ways. I'll use it before my moisturizer. Sometimes I'll mix it in with my moisturizer. And then because I like a glowy skin or a glowy look to my skin, I'll sometimes even do it a second time and then press it over my makeup as well.
I do the same thing, yeah.
So pretty. Oh.
There's no wrong way to use
it.
it.
Yeah, that's the great part about not just Radiance Elixir. I think all the products, there's no strict rules.
Right.
You could do whatever you want, whatever works for you and your skin.
Mhm.
Such great ingredients that it's not going to mess with your skincare routine. It's not going to change anything up. It's just going to everything's going to look beautiful no matter what order you put it on. And
Great answers, guys. I love that.
have fun with it.
Completely. I agree with Olympia. There's like no rules. You can kind of play with it. But again, the way that I personally like to use it is just 2 drops pressed in after my serum before my moisturizer. And I feel like I have that glow without looking too shiny. Another amazing question. Okay, what lipstick should we use under the mask? That's so interesting.
I love that question.
I love that
That's a
question.
good question.
I get really dry skin. What about you guys?
Same. I actually am really dry as well. And I've been loving our lip tint hydrating balms because they're so easy to apply. So that's my go-to. I mix 2 colors. I mix verbena and beach rose together, which you can kind of see it right now. But beach rose is like there Angela has it. She's prepared.
I have it. I've got my workstation in here. So whatever you need, I got it. So it's in the Bluetooth.
I love it.
And these are really I personally am the exact opposite. I like a matte lip. So I prefer like our lip colors. And what I'll do is today I've got the red on Poppy full blast, but typically what I'll do is I'll put our lipstick on and I actually will take a loose powder and kind of throw loose powder over it. So that there's less transfer on the back of my mask, and then it's not like oozing all over my face. I want a matte lip so that it's not everywhere, and then when I take my mask off, I have color. So I use it more like a stain. I do that, and sometimes I'll do like our elephant lip veil. Yeah, I've got everything here, and I'll put this on and then almost blot it so that it's a stain, so I have color on my lip. So
I don't want to put you on the spot, Angela, but do you have lip potion by you? Because that's my go-to.
I do.
Oh, yeah.
All night during quarantine, all under the mask. That's my favorite.
So let's talk about lip potion, okay, you guys? I know a lot of people don't like putting their fingers in things, but I like if you see the consistency of this right here, it's there's no wax in it. So it absorbs into the skin, like lips completely. So it's not just like a barrier sitting on top of your skin, lips that feels good. It actually is like sucked in by your lips and it helps hydrate very well. Lip potion, go get you some.
Go to. And it has a little pink hint to it. I feel like that little pink hue is just like, doesn't look like you're wearing a lip balm or a chapstick. It just gives you that really nice plump look.
Absolutely. I love that. And the lip potion is another favorite of mine, Olympia. I always put it on my cuticles when they get so dry from washing our hands. And like instantly
you're wearing something new every day.
That's what these are for.
You're gonna learn from each other.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you guys again for hanging out with us. We had such a blast, and I hope that everyone learned some valuable information on how best to care for your skin under the mask, and some great foundation techniques from our lovely hosts. So all of the 3 hosts' information as far as their Instagram handles and their email addresses to contact them will be linked in the chat box. So please blow up their DMs, reach out to them if you'd like to continue learning from them or need any help finalizing your products that you'd like to purchase. They're here for you, and we appreciate you so much. So thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Have
everyone.
a wonderful night.
Everyone. Stay safe
Bye.
out there.
Guys.
We hope to see you next time.
I know.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.